if you could state your name and title, and I can set my my lines on that.
Certainly.
Okay, go ahead.
My name is Rhonda Gaines. I'm CEO and founder of RBG Business Solutions and author of Power of the Boardroom.
Okay, and a working mother, I take it.
Yes, I have done that with a flair, if you will, and that is why I wrote Power of the Boardroom. I believe strongly in the family and in grooming our leaders, and I took that role extremely seriously.
So are your kids grown now and out on their own?
Yes, they are, and they're doing extremely well. One in oil and gas in Houston, and the other in management in Arkansas and in education.
So you've been through the empty nest period, and you're now in the, this is okay.
You know what? I am in the now the sacrifices were so worth it.
Are you?
When I was going through it, it was extremely painful, and I'm doing anything I can to encourage professional women especially to make it work and to do whatever it takes for their DNA and their family to make it work.
Okay, so let's talk about that. And the one of the focal points is the family dinner.
Yes.
Sitting around for the family dinner. How did you do that?
Do you know the Power of the Boardroom was, the entire analogy was based on that. I took that analogy, and really the Power of the Boardroom talks about the family dinner table, that it's not just for nutrition. It's there to help you to know your children, know your husband, teach respect, feed the soul, feed the body, feed the brain. I have two sons and a daughter. I was so afraid of what they were going to encounter in life that the fear just consumed me because I knew what competition meant. I knew how to succeed, but it took everything out of us. So I took that opportunity at the dinner table not only to feed them nutritious food, but to teach them life applications. Many of the children who are being bullied at school today, a lot of it is because they don't know how to respond because we're not teaching them as parents. And also the home has to be their safe ground. And it is up to the parents to make sure that they get that one ingredient that can really propel them to the next level.
Let me just quickly ask, are you on a speakerphone or are you on handheld?
I'm on handheld. Would you care for me to be on a headset?
No, I just wanted to make sure there's kind of an echoey sound, and I wanted to make sure that it wasn't on a speakerphone.
Well, I can quickly. Is this better?
Say a little more.
Rhonda Gaines, Power of the Boardroom, interview.
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds fine. Okay, so how did you make the time to be there, to be home, to cook the dinner? Because the kids had, soccer or baseball or football or dance or whatever. How did you organize your family life to have that time?
Do you know that my husband and I had to look at the family two ways. One, as a team, strictly as a team. Who's on first? Who's on second? What are our roles and responsibilities? So often we as parents, we're not teaching our students, our children to really be accountable and be responsible. We had to spread the wealth. I'm not the only one that cooked. My husband cooked. The children started. Now, believe it or not, my daughter cooks much, much better than I do today because we started her early. So my sons are the same way. They can cook, clean, sew, the whole 9 yards. But we prioritize time, extended family, grandparents, critical. Every summer, I made sure that they had the opportunity to visit. But a lot of it is just prioritizing our time and deciding what sports they were going to be in because they had to be in them. But it's just like we do at work. We have deadlines, we have projects, and we basically dissect the elephant one piece at a time and make it work.
And what about the nutritional element? For so many mothers and my kid, I've got grandchildren, so my kids are long grown. But for so many working mothers, the easiest thing to do is to go to the grocery store, go to the freezer section, get something that is processed, that you can simply throw in the microwave, and there you go, there's dinner. It takes a lot of time if you're going to cook something from scratch. And in that processed food, you're going to find a lot of high fructose corn syrup. You're going to find really high levels of salt. So as a mother, how do working mothers deal with making sure that their children or their family are getting nutritious meals?
Do you know, I grew up on a farm, and what they call organic now was 2 huge gardens out in our backyard that we basically could have homemade salads whenever we wanted to. So now I know the official name for what we grew up with, so I'm saying everything is organic. But as far as that question is concerned, it goes back to priorities. Family, faith, family, and career. We had to make sure that our children received quality products. And in doing so, sometimes you can group with friends and you can cook on weekends and basically freeze. I cooked and froze many of my meats and basically thawed them out, throughout the week. It goes back to prioritizing what works for your family. But you're right. I didn't give a lot of processed foods. We only ate out once a week. I even had many opportunities, and the power of the boardroom will speak to this. I had opportunities to hold the meal, if you will, until my husband came home. Children didn't understand it, but I had to teach them self-control as well. We had nutritious snacks. We didn't eat a lot of processed foods, and I managed their weight. It's unfair for our children to be overweight because of my inability to process my time and to prioritize my time in order to help get the job done. And my husband and I both did it. It wasn't just me.
Yeah, and in this survey, they were talking to middle income and lower income, and I can imagine the financial strains that they're under, and for those individuals, really hard to prioritize like that.
No, I understand that, and I'm not being insensitive. I know people, and I've been there as well, where I had nothing to 6 figures. I've gone the whole gamut, Nikki. But I know there are ways to get it done, but you have to research and ask the questions. They used to call me Miss Ask It, because when it came to my family and I really tried to do the best for my family, I would ask, well, what type of coupon can I get 2 for 1? I know women and men who cut coupons and literally can get groceries at a reduced cost. I know there's certain grocery stores that you can get discounts. A lot of it does take more time when your funds are limited. But you know what I think of, Nikki? How much time does it take when you get cancer? How much time does it take when you have diabetes? What happens to your life then? How much money do you pour in? So the way I looked at it, and the power of the boardroom speaks to this, of when I didn't do it, I crashed, and my whole life just dissipated in front of me because I didn't do it. You have to prioritize, because if you don't pay it on the front end, Nikki, especially with your family, you're going to pay for it on the back end. And I made the sacrifice. My husband made a sacrifice, and that is the only reason I can breathe today and really enjoy life, in this season.
I think there's an enormous amount of wisdom in that. And let me ask you one last question, and it's one that Jeff wrote. If we lose the family dinner, what is the cost?
We're already seeing the cost. Why would children kill their parents? Why would parents kill their children? Why do we not have a respect for each other anymore? Why don't we know each other anymore? Why is there not love for each other that we can now move toward the community, to mankind? We own it in our homes. Our homes are a reflection of our community. That's in the story. We own it. We don't have to have the government to tell us who we are. We don't have to have politicians to tell us who we are. If we look in the mirror, if we look at our faith, if we look at our family, if we look at our career as to what our choices are, how we think, how we reason, how we stand up for what we believe in, that's who we are. The dinner table is powerful. And so many people ignore it because it's such a simple concept.
Extremely well said. Well, this has been such a pleasure talking with you.
Likewise, Nikki.
I really appreciate you taking the time and the wisdom that you've got, Rhonda. You're quite a lady.
Thank you so much, Nikki, and I hope to enjoy your weather this weekend.
I hope you do, too.
All right.
Have a good afternoon.
You too. Bye-bye.